I'm filming this on my phone, so I apologize if the audio is not the most perfect. However, I wanted to just make a chill video and tell y'all about some crazy shit that has been happening the past few days. So grab a drink, grab a treat. It's very festive of me eating a cookie next to my Christmas tree. And let's get into it. So just a heads up, I am gonna have to be a little bit more vague because there are NDAs that I've signed with certain projects. So gonna have to be a little bit vague. And then I also don't want to, out any creators who have been involved in the situation too, even though they're pretty open and amazing and I love them so much. But as y'all know, with being a creator, with being an online person in this space, and especially with this kind of content, a lot of times when I say projects, I mean documentaries, right? Or docu-series, things like that. Whenever those types of projects are happening, typically YouTubers, commentators, people like that will be reached out to. We're putting our story out there. We're already doing what essentially the documentary is doing. And so of course they'll reach out to us, whether it's for research purposes or for us to sign on to the project and be featured in it. Now a few months ago, I want to say like 3 months ago, maybe like 3 months ago, I was contacted by someone. We will call her Scammy. It's obviously not her name. Wiggum's playing with his toys. We're going to call her Scammy. So Scammy presented herself to be a producer. I thought that she was. I had looked up some of the things that she had done, that she'd been involved with. And keep in mind, in this industry, when you, not multi-level marketing, but showbiz, when you are a producer or a researcher, anything like that, you can be hired on to do either. Just keep that in mind. Now, Scammy had reached out to me and a couple other creators, and I talked to her. She emailed me. I'm usually pretty quick with my turnaround time with people like this. And then she talked to a few other creators already by the time she had talked to me. And she let me know who she spoke with. She asked me my opinion on them. And I, told her, yeah, I respect them. I like them a lot. I consider us colleagues and friends. And then also I told her some other people that she definitely needs to reach out to as well. Now she was asking me all about, multi-level marketing companies. Obviously that's what this is going to be about. And then she started also asking me more about this community of anti-MLM creators and commentators. And I thought that was kind of weird because she was focusing, it seemed, a lot on that. And I personally didn't like that. It seemed like she was trying to get me to say certain things about other creators, which obviously I wouldn't do because I'm not a shitty person. And I don't have anything negative to say really about any other creator in this space. And if I did, I would. And I would say it to their face too. And I wouldn't have anything to do with them. Now, Scammy also was typically always late to our calls. Whenever I have a meeting or I'm on a call, I always tell the person, hey, I have a hard stop at this time. I always give the call a time limit. Even if I don't have anything to do afterwards, I'm not going to be sitting around on the phone. I need us to, this is my time. This is a business. I am working. I need this to have a hard cutoff because I'm not going to be lollygagging around. That's not how this works. Now, Scammy would constantly run over the call. She would try to, go off on all these tangents and things. A few times she told me she loved me. It was very weird. And it wasn't in the way of like, if you're calling your doctor's office or like you're at work or something and you work in customer service and you accidentally say like, okay, love you, bye. And you're just like, oh my God, what have I done? It wasn't like that. It was like, she was telling me like how much she loved me. And it was so weird. And then she was saying a lot of inappropriate things about her own life. And just, it was very, very unprofessional. Very unprofessional. I was not a big fan of it. And then she started to tell me some not great things about the production company that she was working for. That was during our second call. But on our first call, she was talking it up, saying how they were the greatest ever and how she couldn't pass up this opportunity to work with them. So that was really weird. And then when we were doing a Zoom call, because usually how this goes is, the person gathers research, they figure out who they want to be involved in it, and then they get them, on camera, they do an interview video with them, that they edit that, and they send it over to the, head people of the project. And then they decide who is best for the project and who they want to be involved. So she led me to believe, after 4 phone calls, 2 video interviews, and countless emails and texts, she led me to believe that that I had been basically picked to be on the project. And then I hadn't heard from her in like a month and a half to 2 months. And then I get a message from another creator who I love. She's amazing. She's great. And she had let me know, hey, Scammy had been kicked off of the project. Like, I guess it's not happening anymore, or I don't know what's going on, whatever. I was like, okay, fine. And I hadn't heard anything. I was like, you know what? If the company wanted to move forward, or if they wanted to work with me or any of us, they'd contact us. It's not hard to find us. Like, they have our information. Let's just say that. Like, it's really not hard. So then while I was in New York with my husband this past week, I get a call at 9 p.m. on a Friday night. We're walking into Serafina. I'm so excited to just devour all of the pasta and all the wine. And I get a call from her, and I was like, hey, I'm going into dinner. Can I call you, or can you, like, later, or can you just text me? And she was like, oh yeah, sure. And then she sent me all these texts. Of course, I screenshotted them and sent them to Deanna and Isabella, because I was like, is she in love with me? This is fucking weird. Why? Like, I let it slip that I was in New York. She lives in Brooklyn, and she's like, oh my gosh, I have to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no. Like, I'm with my husband. I am on vacation. I don't want to see you. Why would I want to see you? So strange, right? So it gets weirder. I then told her, I was like, hey, I'm actually not feeling well. The next day, I was like, I'm not feeling well. Can you just text me what you were trying to tell me? Like, I don't want to talk on the phone. Then she texted me again. She was like, peace and, not joking, peace and love, you know, all respect, just 15 minutes. And I said, okay. Tony's about to get in the shower. And then right when he gets out of the shower, we're leaving like the hotel room, and we're going back out again. So you have 10 minutes. And she said, okay. So she took longer than that. So Tony's like stretching on the floor as I'm talking to her. And the entire time he's like, she's so weird. What the fuck is she talking about? She's going off on all these tangents, saying that the, you know, film industry production is MLM, and it's super culty, and how the company wanted her to sign an NDA, but she wasn't going to. And she failed to mention that she had been kicked off the project, which later I got actual confirmation for. But of course, she told that to another creator, and they told me, so I knew it was most likely true. And she continues and continues about how 5 of us creators, me, 3 people that y'all most likely know, and then some random older lady who has been in MLMs for like 40 years and who's been in like 28 of them. It's crazy. And that lady all have to sign this contract with her, not with the production company, with Scammy. Now I thought that was strange, because I was like, I'm not signing a contract with you. And keep in mind, she doesn't know that I know that she'd been kicked off the project. So I was like, you know what? Send it over. I'll look at it. I'll have my management look at it. I'll have my husband look at it, and my lawyer is going to look at it too. So then she started backpedaling. Oh, well, you know, it's just super easy. It's just super quick. You know, we don't want to hold up the project now, trying to manipulate me into not really reading it over and to sign it faster so that I'm not holding up a project. First of all, bitch, I'm not holding up a project. If you're just now trying to get people signed on, clearly it's not holding up a project. There isn't really a project yet. It's still in pre-production and the research stage. It's not even greenlit. Like, what are you doing? Very annoying. So then I called one of the other creators, and she was like, yeah, she sent me that like 2 months ago, and I told her I wasn't going to sign it. So I looked through it. It seemed like a standard appearance release. I've signed a couple of those before. It seemed like a standard one. It didn't seem like, you know, a huge deal. And then I kept reading, and there was a non-compete slipped in there. Just like not even another, like a different section, just like 2 sentences, basically, not even like 1 sentence. And it said something along the lines of, due to the competitive atmosphere of the market or of the industry, I agree to not be involved in or sign on to any other projects of the same topic, basically, within 12 months of the release date of this production or project, whatever. And it's just like, what? No, the fuck? How are you gonna try to have creators sign that? What? Like, no, I'm not doing that. If it said like 3 months, okay, okay, I could see that. But also, no, I'm not signing a non-compete. So I emailed her back, told her I wasn't gonna sign it if it's had that in there, but that everything else looked pretty normal. So I talked to the other 3 creators. We all started comparing stories. I got a little bit more sketched out. So then me and 2 of the creators hopped on a Zoom call with Scammy, and Scammy said so many things that were extra red flaggy. So that's not even a term. It is now red flaggy. So when I told her this is my concern, and all three of us have this concern. And I wasn't speaking for anyone. They had told me as well that was their concern. I was like, I have already signed on to other projects. I can't sign this with that non-compete just slipped on in there. You have to take it out or I'm not signing it. Red flag number 75, basically. But within this conversation, number one, she said that she couldn't take it out. And then when she said she couldn't take it out, she blamed it on the lawyer that she's using, which she calls him the lawyer or just Joe. Why doesn't your lawyer have a last name? And is it you with a mustache on? Because that's what it sounds like. It doesn't sound like this person even exists. And then also it was sketchy that the lawyer's name wasn't at the bottom of the document. At least I thought that was sketchy. And then another red flag was that after she said that she couldn't take it out, or that he couldn't take it out, that if she was to even ask him, that he was going to look at her like she's crazy. And I said, I don't care how he looks at you. I'm not signing it if that's on it. And then she started saying, oh, well, you know, we have to, because if you see the NDA that they're trying to make me sign, it'll all make sense. And I said, that has nothing to do with me. I don't care about that. If you don't take this out, I'm not going to sign it. Again, kept going back to that. And then she started talking about, oh, well, you know, if you're worried about making money, you know, blah, 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 because in that appearance release, it also says in there that, you know, we're real people, real stories. We're not actors. Therefore, we aren't going to be, you know, compensated or get royalties or anything like that. That's pretty normal. I understand that. That's fine. And that's pretty fucking normal. Also, typically they pay for, you know, your travel, and a lot of times you'll get like a per diem, basically like, hey, this is for your time, which is fine. That, again, that's normal. But she kept going on and on about this. And the other creator was like, that's not our concern. We don't care about making money. And this is where y'all and I, in my head, I was like, Tony's going to be so proud of me. I stopped her and I said, that has nothing to do with the question that I asked. I don't care about making money for this project. Even being involved in any type of project, I will in turn make more money on my YouTube channel because it's more exposure. So I don't care. And I make enough money. I don't need to be paid by the production company. That does not matter to me. And then she kept going and saying, you know, all this other stuff. And I told her again, backtrack. This is the point. I'm not signing it if that's still on there. And then again, went off on another tangent. And she went off on another tangent about how women don't trust each other. And if there's no trust, there's no nothing. And the entire time I'm thinking, and one of the other creators' husbands said this too, I was like, am I listening to one of the Zoom calls that I sneak into? Like, that's what this sounds like. And then I, again, told her, I was like, listen, and the other creators brought this up as well. They're like, well, if this contract's with you, why are we signing it? Because we're going to have to sign another contract, another release, appearance release, and NDAs and non-competes, especially NDAs, and all this other information. Like, we're going to have to do so much with the production company. So why are we signing this with you? And I even said, it sounds like, you know, you're trying to make it so that they have to work with you and they can't work with us. That's why that non-compete's in there. So it all started to make sense with all three of us. And so another one of the creators asked, I was so proud of her for saying this, and she said, so why are we signing this? Because again, that was a great fucking question that she had never actually answered. And she said, because I need to know how serious you are. And she like said it and like sat back and wobbled her head. All of us were silent. And I'm just sitting, of course, like no one's glam. No one's wearing makeup. And I'm sitting there in like a fucking dirty t-shirt. Literally my like Dare t-shirt I'm sitting there in. And I'm sitting there like this, just rubbing right here. And I was the first one to talk. And I go, this is gonna mess up my Botox. Sitting there like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about? And I told her, we do this every single day. And not to, you know, make that, not to sound, you know, crazy and self-important, but we do this every single day. We're the ones putting ourselves out there for scrutiny, for criticism, for harassment, which all of us have received, like ridiculous harassment, doxing, just the most insane shit has happened to us because we speak out on these commercial cults. We are serious. We're serious. We're already doing it. Like that was the point for me, the audacity that she said that, and the fact that she just kept saying like, oh, just all these tangents. And it was just so fucking weird. Another one of the creators was like, okay, well, if we don't sign this with you and then the project doesn't go through, you know, it gets shelved. A lot of times that happens. I've had that happen 3 times already with projects I've worked on. It's fucking crazy. And the creators said, again, sorry that I'm like not using their names. I didn't ask their permission to tell this story, so I don't want to say their names, but I love them so much. Y'all do too. And one of them said, and she continued her question. She's like, okay, well, if it doesn't go through, then this contract is, null and void. That wasn't written in the contract. There were so many things that she was saying. She was like, no, well, this means this. And I'm like, well, it doesn't say that. It says something completely different. It doesn't matter what you say. It matters what's written down on the paper that I'm signing. Fucking crazy. I'm so happy my dad taught me to read every single tiny thing 40 times before I sign it. So this was my favorite part. So then she goes, oh, well, the project like doesn't happen without you, and you're the one who decides if you're involved in the project. And I was just like, no, we're not. We obviously are on board. We obviously want to be involved, but the production company, the director of development, like the fucking directors are the ones who decide if we are involved in it. And she's like, no, they're not. You're in control. And I was like, no, we're not. They can decide that they don't want us involved. Like, what are you talking about? Like, so fucking weird. And I was texting another one of the creators, like, while we were on the call. I didn't have the other one's number yet. So we were texting, and I was like, what the fuck is she saying? And then she started using the word Scammy started using the word gaslighting a lot. And the creator texted me back, and she goes, gaslighting? She's gaslighting. And I was like, I know. Fucking insane. So finally, we were going in circles, and I was like, you know what? I'm fucking done. This is done. This is done. So I texted the other creator, and I'm like, I'm fucking doing it. I'm out. I'm doing it. I'm saying it. And she goes, okay, get it. So I was like, listen, bottom line, if you don't take that out, I'm out and I can't be involved. And it sounds like you're not going to take it out. So I'm out. I'm not going to be involved. But I wish you nothing but the best. Good luck on this project and your future endeavors. And she just sits back and she's like the way she like moves is like earthworm Jim. She was like, well, the project doesn't happen without you. So I was like, oh, sorry. I'm not going to fucking take it out. Told you what needs to happen. I'm not just some dumb little, person who makes videos in their house. Like, that's not how this works. So the other creators also agreed. They're like, yeah, we can't do it. So then we ended the call, and then us three hopped back on a call, and we started like comparing notes of stuff that she had told us previously. And needless to say, it was very, very concerning. So that happened at like noon on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, I believe, or maybe even later that day, she sent those two other people, group chats. And one of them obviously was sending it to me, but she took me out of it. And I was like, well, no shit, she took me out of it. If I was her, I'd take me out of it too. Cause I would just be, she knows I'm an asshole. I'm not going to stand for that shit. I'm not saying the other girls aren't assertive, but they're not as blunt necessarily. They'll ignore you instead of being like, hey, stop it. This is extremely unprofessional. This is not okay. So she kept going and going and going and just spewing out the most random, nonsensical bullshit. She was trying to continue to try to manipulate them to sign on. And they both said, we will not do that. And finally, one of them said, you trying to guilt me into and trying to gaslight and manipulate me into signing this is not going to work. And then she texted them saying that they are legally responsible for putting her in the hospital because of stress. And when she told me that, I was like, girl, what the fuck? She's threatening to sue all three of us because she got so stressed she went to the hospital. Ma'am, I'm not a voodoo witch doctor. I didn't do that to you. It's so fucking weird. So incredibly strange to me. Anyways, so that happens. She kept going on and on and on. So finally, I was like, you know what? I'm fucking over it. So then on Thursday morning, that happened, Tuesday and Wednesday all day. So then on Thursday morning, I emailed the production company. I knew the name of it. I emailed them, told them how unprofessional she's being, and just gave a little bit of an idea of what the fuck's going on. I got a call, an email, a text, and a voicemail within 2 hours from the director of development at this production studio. And he let me know that she's not worked with them for 2 months. She was hired on as a researcher, not a producer, and like producer at any level, just a researcher. And no offense to things researchers, but there's a difference there. Like the researcher reports to the other person, which is crazy because she had said that the studio like assigned her a shitty researcher. And it's like, how many personalities do you have? What's happening? Like, are you also that person? Are you also your lawyer? I wish I could show y'all and tell y'all, all the other shit that she said. And it was so strange and just erratic. I'd say erratic is a really good way to describe it. Erratic, unprofessional, and delusional, deranged, I feel like it's better. So fucking crazy, basically. And I then talked to him and he was like, I'm so sorry that, you know, she's been harassing you. I'll send out an email right now. So other creators who have, you know, gotten in contact with her or contacted by her rather, were sent an email saying like, don't talk to her in regards to, you know, this project because she does not work for this company and she hasn't for 2 months. And what she was trying to do is exactly what we expected. They fired her from the project or didn't continue to work with her, whatever, after she submitted research. And then she wanted to, I guess, make a name for herself or get back on the project. So she wanted to make it so that they couldn't work with any of us. So she wanted us to sign a contract with her. And that's why that non-compete was just slipped in there so that we wouldn't be able to work with any other production studio or anything else. And we're thinking that she was going to try to like not only gatekeep us, but shop us around to other people. And it said on there that, you know, we wouldn't be paid anything and that all money would go to her, like anything that we would make from it, which again, like I said, it's typically not a lot. Like when you're a creator, when you're, you know, a podcaster, anyone in media, typically with this, other than like a, you know, like a daily fee or some shit, it's really just exposure. And that's what helps like so much. And of course, I know people might think like, oh, well, don't you always say, you know, like exposure doesn't pay the bills? Sure. With like sponsored content and stuff. Yeah, it doesn't. I'm not fucking doing that. No. But when you're on people's screens on like an HBO documentary, that's fucking huge. That's completely different. Like that's different. I'll take all the exposure I can get when it comes to that. So I haven't heard anything from her. She was, again, like right before I sent the email, she was threatening to, you know, sue all of us, saying that we were giving away trade secrets and that we had agreed to confidentiality when we started talking to her. And I was like, no, I didn't sign anything. Absolutely not. Unless I signed an NDA, I can say anything. I won't out of respect, but I can say anything. So as a creator, and just to anyone, please always read what you are looking at. If someone tries to get you to sign something quickly and tries to deter you from talking to other parties who were involved, like in this sense, like other collaborators, those few things right there are red flags. She didn't want me to talk to anyone else. She also tried to like start drama between a few creators, and we were like, what the fuck? No, like what the hell's happening? It was so strange. She just like would not call during normal hours. She's in the Eastern time zone. It's like, why are you calling me at 10 or 9 p.m. on a Friday night? What are you doing? I understand, you know, like it's a little, there really aren't work hours, you know, in this industry, but like there are. And then if I tell you like, hey, I'm on vacation with my husband, I'll talk to you on Monday or Tuesday and we can schedule a time. And then you're trying to rush me because you have a deadline of Monday, end of day. That's a red flag as well, because you need to give people proper, like enough time, enough turnaround time. So that's another red flag. The gaslighting, just all of that. So it's just my little big sister advice for you is to always take time, look shit over. Don't only, you know, try to educate yourself about it, but also please have other people look over it. If you don't trust, you know, your parents, have another friend look over it. Have your spouse look over it. I mean, do you think Tony understood half the shit that he was reading in that? No, but he did have some questions. And think about it. When someone else looks over it and they ask a question, they're looking at it with a different set of eyes. So he saw something and he was like, what the fuck does that mean? And I was like, oh, well, that means this. And he's like, well, could it mean this instead? And I was like, you're right. It could. My phone ran out of storage because for some reason I got the one with only 64 gigs. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Cannot wait to get the new one. Anyways, so that is my little warning to y'all. Take care of yourselves. Please understand the risk. Please understand what you are signing and have 47 other people look over it. Please. That is it for this horror story. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.